wet my whistle.
ASMR. Oh yeah, someone pay good money for that.
Oh yeah. Patreon, please.
You are now experiencing EternalDisco.
Okay. Hardly know her.
That's true, I do.
True.
I hardly know her. Hey, remember how it's fun to sow and then when you reap it's really not fun anymore?
Dylan, last video. We're gonna review the new Underoath album that comes out in 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ. Save me. I'm blinking twice.
Now, here's the thing, Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love it. You know why you're gonna love it? Because you're gonna watch my soul die on camera.
Yeah.
Because I have to go, that feel when your goat washed? Because it's, spoilers, it's not good.
Yeah, why not?
Me when I sow, haha, yes, haha,
Yeah.
versus me when I fucking reap.
I did not realize it was like the next week. I'd have to listen to.
I told you it
whole
was
record
coming
of
up.
Underoath.
Spoilers.
I mean, you don't need. It's not a
you read the
spoiler.
thumbnail. I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, it's not really a spoiler at this point.
So, but there's okay.
Probably
So I guess
read
I'll just get into it. Do you want to start with that?
Well, I figure, what if we do like in terms of length, kind of like work our way up from the, you know what I mean?
So do the shortest first.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
we can end on a high note.
Sure.
You know,
So okay, so we're doing some peaks and valleys here.
it's a, what do they call it? Like a compliment sandwich.
Yeah, you gotta put the negative in the middle.
But yeah, so I got bombarded this morning.
You did.
Basically, I got a Google Drive full of Australian time travelers music,
True.
and that was fun. You know, I rushed straight home. You know, from the mines to
From the mines.
yeah to make it here to shoot this review for you guys. I made the classic blunder of listening to the known bad thing first, but we'll get to that. But yeah, so basically Gabe said, hey, let's review this and maybe this. So we got a Review-A-PALOOZA. That's what I keep calling it.
That's what I'm gonna call it. Review-A-PALOOZA, big
Oh,
dog.
baby, we're
That
starting it.
sounds good to me. It's the first of many.
The fucking New Music Friday. We're a
We're Review-A-PALOOZA.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to say that if I drink any more of that Coors Banquet. So.
You're gonna
Review-A-PALOOZA.
Review-A-PALOOZA.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like fucking RFK Jr. in a minute.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, Underoath, write a good song. Challenge impossible. No,
Come on, man.
no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so funnily enough, the one I'm most familiar with, and this is a perfect segue, is the Invent Animate Silent Planet EP split. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked Return to One when it first came out.
Yeah.
Listened to it a lot.
Pretty cool song.
Hope I Find You at the End, or whatever the lyric is at the end.
Yeah. It's a good song.
Good song.
I know you're not a super big lyric guy.
No. But really, you can't help it with Silent Planet.
Well, but here's the cool thing about that song. So, you know, the name of the EP thing is called Bloom in Heaven, right? Silent Planet's last album, Super Bloom.
Yeah.
Invent Animate's last album, Heavener.
Yeah.
The Return to One, and maybe the other two songs as well. I'm not 100% sure because they're so new. I haven't found the lyrics for them yet.
Yeah.
The Return to One is like almost all of the lyrics are just references to other songs. Like they say, like they'll like swap out saying each other's like song titles, and it's pretty cool.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they sneak in a lot of like Garrett says the name. He says a couple. I think he says more Invent Animate song titles, and then the guy Marcus says like at one point he says something about like antimatter and like shit like that. So pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. But yeah, like I was familiar with that. I thought it was gonna be just a single or something for something else. No, it's just basically a third of this new EP, and like total collaborative effort between the two bands.
From what I understand, it's like actual true collaborative EP where like multiple members of each band were in the studio together. Like I know for sure, like it's not just we're gonna write a song and then Garrett's gonna send him a vocal feature and then we're gonna write a song and then Marcus is gonna do a vocal feature. Like it was a pretty collaborative effort.
Yeah.
they got together and laid it down real quick.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much planning went into it, or if it was just like riff ideas and like how long it took them to track it. But it seems like it was pretty spur of the moment.
Yeah, I mean, and that's cool. Like, I mean, honestly, that's what music is, right? Like, that's
what it should
like
be.
that's cool. Like to knock out a EP in a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, so props to them for that. Like,
Yeah.
Like we said, like you can kind of tell who was like who took the lead.
Yeah.
Per song, but still like with the split, the vocals are almost like I won't say half and half, but
it's pretty 50-50. I
yeah,
think.
like
yeah, Return to One definitely feels more Silent Planet y.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very heavy, very aggro, which I feel like some people might be worried about with Silent Planet's current trajectory, that they're just not going to do that, which is lunatic behavior, because like they still write probably heavier stuff than they ever have.
Yeah.
But it's pretty all over the place. But it sounds like Mitch wrote it. It sounds like Alex is playing drums on it.
Yeah. It sounds like it's like Silent Planet wrote the song with a Marcus, like basically the entire song or most of the song is Marcus, and then like with a Garrett feature, which is.
But it sounds like it kind of feels like it sounds like maybe it had a little bit more input from the Silent Planet crew side of things as far as physical writing. But at the same time, it kind of feels like maybe they wrote it in the mind of, what if I wrote an Invent Animate song? Because like there's some like random like thally bits that don't necessarily fit in Silent Planet's wheelhouse all the time.
Gotcha.
Sounds more Invent-esque.
Which, total disclaimer, by the way, I don't listen to. Well, I guess I do listen to Silent Planet. I've seen them live like 3-4 times now, but I don't listen to Invent Animate. I don't think I've even heard any of their music.
I think you've heard a little bit.
But so I'm not like, I've listened to Silent Planet.
Yeah.
Not really like the biggest fan of their recorded music, like seeing them live. Apparently I've seen Invent Animate live, never listened to recorded music. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Like,
pretty cool.
Like as like an introduction basically for me for like, that part of the genre.
So yeah, Return to One. Good song. Been out for a little bit.
Definitely my favorite, I'd say.
You think? Yeah. I have to listen to it a couple more times to figure out which one I'd like more. I will say I think we can both kind of agree that the second song is like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not bad. It's not like unlistenable or like, I don't know. I think if you're gonna do 3 songs, it needs to be just like all gas, no brakes.
Right.
I don't think we needed like a chill, nice song in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you had a critique about the structure of it, I think, a little bit.
To tie this around a little bit more, I first noticed this listening to the Underoath record today after work. And then this song, it's the thing that's starting to piss me off in this genre is when you have like a fully chill song where you have just a fully like, just like clean guitars, like maybe even electronic drums, that type of beat. And then the whole band kicks in for the last 60 seconds just to blow it all out of proportion. The metal drums come back in. Yeah. It was cool probably once or twice. I think that's just like every record, even apparently a 3-song EP, has to have that song.
I think in the right application, those songs can be cool.
If this was a full record, that would be a good one of those songs. Sure. But for 2/3 of the runtime to be taken up by the genre staple, I guess you could say. Yeah. It's kind of like,
I also think that if you're going to bring the full band at the end, it needs to be something kind of like very distinct. Or like
not just the chords getting played on heavy guitar.
Yeah.
Which is basically what it is.
Yeah. I think that's why like someone like Sleep Token has gotten that pass in the past, is because it's like you got songs like Dark Signs or like Bloodsport where it's like soft and at the end. Yeah. But, it's like, it's a very big distinction. And something like this, it's like, Yeah. But like I said, it's not to say it's like a bad song. I don't think it's bad.
No. Like I said, it's a good example. I will listen to it
again, but it's a good example of like, it's like,
Yeah. For sure.
The third song, though, Armageddon Eyes, I like it. I like it almost as much as I like Return to One for sure. I think those two are neck and neck for me.
Yeah. I like the drumming on that one a lot. Yeah. I'm a big drum head. And like the performances, like we kind of talked a little bit off camera, like they could have just punched that shit in a MIDI, with having 2 drummers. There's no way you're actually recording 2 drummers, 2 drum sets, all that sort of stuff. You're not really doing that just to sample replace it. But But yeah, I think that no matter which way they actually went about doing it, it's very distinct difference
It is.
to
There's a
Return to One.
distinct difference between Return to One and that one.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
I think that Armageddon Eyes definitely had more input from Brody Smith, I believe is his name.
Yeah, I believe so.
Atlanta guy.
Yeah.
I used to be in this band called Seder. Maybe
Yeah.
still in a band called Seder. I don't know.
That's how I found him.
Yeah, he's fucking unreal good.
Watching his YouTube drum playthroughs.
Yeah,
and
and then he
clips.
joined Invent Animate.
Yeah,
And
crazy.
he's doing big things with them now.
Those two bands exactly the same, honestly. Seder and Invent Animate.
Yeah, same band.
Sister
actually.
bands, actually. Yeah, I mean, he's got the chops. Like in Armageddon Eyes, there's definitely the blast beats, which every core drummer does that now. Like,
Good.
I liked them before they were cool.
Oh, yeah,
But,
Dylan was a big blast beat head back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. But now it's like part of like the 30-second note triplet like kick drums in that one section like he's got some chops. Like it sounds good.
It's good.
Yeah. Not to say the rest of the song's pretty good too, but that's definitely a standout I think on that song.
Yeah.
Is the drumming. So
yeah,
big fan of that. But I think like song wise, Return to One is like a really good of the two band styles. And
it is. Yeah, it really does. It feels very like I said, it feels very collaborative. No matter who at the end of the day ends up being like I wrote this versus I wrote this, which that doesn't matter too much. What matters is that the spirit of both bands really drove it home. Look, I can hear people who are like more vocal critics of this genre being like, I mean, they're basically the same band anyway. You know what? Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a fan of a specific lane of metalcore, you can tell the difference between the two bands pretty distinctly, and then you can definitely hear like the fusion here, which is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
it's a pretty nice surprise.
I'm not gonna give it like a score just because it's so short. I'm just gonna say, good job.
Hey,
I like it. I'm gonna listen to it a good bit.
Yeah, Garrett, you're cool. You're a good guy.
Welcome on the couch.
Come on the couch, man.
Maybe
Brody.
That's
a shoe in.
That's a shoe in. He's close.
He's right up the street.
I could get Garrett before I could get him on here. I guarantee you.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But but yeah, so watch out for that, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so awesome EP, like you said. Not score worthy, but definitely a nice surprise.
I mean, it's score worthy, I'm sure. I'm gonna give it thumbs up out of thumbs up.
Yeah. One thumbs up out of one thumbs up.
1 out of 1.
Perfect score.
Yeah. Top of its class.
Good.
I just don't know how to review something that short.
Right. Yeah. Especially because it is, like you said, it is such a split. Like it's almost like a song and a half per band. Yeah. Definitely check it out. Oh no, we're in the middle of the sandwich.
We're in the middle of the sandwich now.
Fuck.
Shit. Dude. Me, Gabe, Worley, favorite band of all time. Little band from Florida called Underoath.
Batman couldn't get that shit out of me at this point.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Me, Gabe Worley, watching Underoath live, and going, dude, that feel when your goat still got it. That feel fucking riding the highest I've ever rode. So good. Especially when they're playing their old stuff. The moment they play a new song, it flips. That feel when your goat washed.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Are you specifically referencing that one thing that we saw?
Which thing?
The live performance.
Oh yeah, Furnace Fest, dude.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Yeah, we went to Furnace Fest. Turns out I had the right idea.
Didn't
they close the whole thing out?
Yes, they were the last band to play the whole weekend.
Yeah, and I'd been standing up for about 72 hours prior to that.
Yeah.
And so I did one of these, pull out my phone, go to Spotify. Only Chasing Safety is like 25 minutes long. Oh, we're so here. And then as soon as that record finished, I was like, I'm going to the hotel, baby.
Yeah, I was like, they only got a couple of songs left, and Dylan's like,
These dogs are barking.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And honestly, smartest thing he could have done, because
turns out in retrospect
they decided to open their second set with one of these new songs from this new record, by the way, that we're reviewing. It's called The Place After This One.
Oh yeah, by the way, sorry.
That's what it's called. And the song was called Teeth.
They open.
They played Teeth.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
This
is breaking news.
Yeah,
to me.
they opened with they played Teeth. Yeah.
Which is, to tie it back in, the really bad version of like that Silent Planet
Yeah.
like Invent Animate
Yes.
middle song, where it's dog shit for 90% of the play. I'm sorry, this way 90% of the playtime, and then it's loud dog shit for the last 10%.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that song. We're gonna skip ahead. Well, that's fine. We'll talk about it because it was the first single.
Okay. Now that's
It was the first song they released from this album. I want you to
brazen.
think about that for a second.
They got cojones.
I mean, I guess it really is like the big balls move of like going like, hey, let's release the song that's going to split people.
Yeah.
Like
the now 13-year-old fans versus the 30-year-old fans.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the people who are like, I don't even, because that's the thing about this band.
Are they like a TikTok band?
No. Not. I guess they're fucking trying to be. Maybe. I don't know.
More power to them.
No, what the problem is fucking, we need to burn Nashville to the ground is what we need to do.
Why's that?
Because Aaron Gillespie moved to Nashville at some point in the last couple of years, and this was produced by some fucker he knows in Nashville. It's got the Nashvilleian effect written all over it.
Yeah.
Fuck that place. Cesspool.
Yeah. Dog shit.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Nashville, you're welcome on the couch.
City of Nashville, right here, please.
Yeah.
So I can punch you repetitively.
Yeah, the city commissioner. we need to talk.
Yeah. Anyway, Teeth as a song, definitely on paper is like there's zero redeemable factor for Dylan Lundy for sure.
Oh yeah.
For me, more forgiving. I like electronic. I like pop. Whatever. I still think it's bad.
Yeah.
I tried really hard because like I think the electronic stuff on it actually does sound good, and the main chorus of it, which has the Aaron Gillespie part where he's singing and it turns into like a break beat and almost has like a drum and bass kind of feel to it. I really do enjoy that part because like I like that style of electronic music. I like Aaron Gillespie's voice. The lyrics aren't like terrible at that part. It's everything around that section that sucks. Like the verses where Spencer's singing don't sound good for one. The lyrics are not great. The fucking, hey, help's not coming. No, stop, please. Fucking, I know help's not coming. Clearly, dude. And then the worst part of it is the fact that they even tried to be heavy on it at all because the heavy part sounds like shit.
Yeah. So do we talk about that now? Because I think the only thing worse than them opening Furnace Fest with that live is having to hear the recorded version of that song.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Is when they play it live, I was like, oh god, we're cooked.
Yeah.
And then they hit the heavy part live, and I was like, I mean, I guess it sounds better than it does in the single version for sure. And that does bring me to, I think the biggest problem of this record is the production.
Yeah. I thought I had a defective something was going wrong.
Yeah.
It was so bad. The mix.
The mix.
But seriously, listen to any track on this with the live drums, whatever you like, what was allegedly played, and you will hear exactly, like, if you know anything, if you've ever heard what compression sounds like in your life, this is clipping. This isn't even like a compressed drum set.
No, it's clipping. Yeah.
This is like, it's like peaking. Like I had it up on my car and I had to like turn it down to make sure that I wasn't like a blown speaker. Yeah. Like that's how compressed and clipped this record is.
I will say there's this like wave of production style nowadays of like people trying to like push things to the extreme to basically push it to the clipping part. And it's like on purpose.
It's like the loudness war was not a good thing.
But it's like we're so past the loudness war. It's loudness terrorism now. It's
right.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like the loudness wars that happened in like the 2000s to 2010s and stuff like that. Everybody agreed that was a bad part of like a bad thing that happened.
But now we're doing it again.
But now we're doing it again to where like when the just like sort of cut back when the first song comes on, I'm like, I wrote down in my notes. My phone's here, so I can't pull it up. But I wrote down, I was like, it's too loud. Yeah. There's too much going on.
Oh, yeah. And
it is a brick with a vocal melody on it.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And like, even if they and I will give they do write some heavy parts, but there's no dynamic. Like the only time where it's not loud and clipping is the electronic parts, where they like use like, you know, samples and stuff like that, and they like create these electronic sections. That's perfectly, I won't say perfectly mixed, but that's mixed below 0 dB.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the thing is, I've watched the clips from when they were like tracking this, and like for instance, like with the drum parts and stuff. Like I've watched the videos of like Aaron Gillespie like tracking the drums, and like he's fucking, you know, wailing on that kit, and I'm just like, yeah. It's, I mean, I know it's like real. It's not just like, but clearly, obviously, in the age of sample replacement and stuff, but like, it's like they sample replaced it and then deliberately cranked it to just red line.
Yeah, it's like they tried to like maybe like sample enhance it, but then they accidentally slipped on a banana peel and hit the plus 12 dB fader on the kick and snare samples. Like a point of comparison that you probably won't even know, and none of you will know, the song by Listener, "Money in the Walls of My Heart."
Okay.
There's a part at the end where it deliberately gets louder and louder to the point where there's like a snare roll to end the song, but it gets so loud that it's clipping on purpose. Like the song builds and builds until it's literally clipping, and then it snaps down to just like a quiet little part at the very, very end. It's like you can use digital clipping to great effect. Yeah, like Listener did on this random ass song. What's more bands than that do, but that's the snare tone reminds me of that. How just like the snare is like the loudest thing in the mix, bar none. Like the drums pump the rest of the mix down the whole time. Every kick, every snare, you can actually hear the levels ducking. Yeah, which is, you know, whatever. But that's just my producer head talking. Well, but it's just rough.
It's well, like I said, I think like there's this wave of people trying to do this kind of thing now. Yeah, with heavy music. Where basically what it is hyperpop, right? Yeah. Your 100 gex is being the most notable.
Damn you, 100 gex. Yeah. I used to love you, and you ruined music for everybody.
Well, but everyone is trying to like cash in on that in some way, shape, or form, even when you get to like heavy bands like this, where it's like, let's experiment with how mixes can sound. And it's like, I get that. And honestly, if Underoath was going for that effect, maybe they should have wrote weirder music to go with it.
You can't just play like big open like power chords and then have everything cranked up to 11.
Yeah, because you can't have it both ways.
Right.
They could, like, if they would have went just like fuck it, we're just gonna write like we're gonna write metalcore in the style of hyperpop and just blow it out of proportion. Yeah. And like it's like the mix isn't bad enough almost. You know what I mean? Like make it even worse. Yeah. Or it's like comical. Yeah. And then I would have been like, okay, I don't know if I like this a lot, but I respect the shit out of you for doing it. Yeah. This feels like you were trying to get there, and then you just stopped just a little.
Or you just made a mistake.
Or, I mean, hopefully you just made a mistake.
Yeah, re-release this with a better
Please. All I'm begging, and like I told you this briefly off camera, Underoath as a band has a very long tenured history that I could talk to you for 3 hours about. Yeah. But the important part is they broke up. They got back together in 2016. 2 years later, they put out a reunion record called Erase Me, which was very hyped up and then very panned in some circles, praised in others. It was a very divisive record because it was very, very stylistically different than everything that they were writing before the breakup, which makes sense. You're not the same people you were, you know. It just, that kind of shit happens. But that record was the effect of essentially them coming back. They come back, they make a little bit of money. They get put on a tour with Bring Me the Horizon. They make a lot more money, and then they go, take notes, do what he's doing. Yeah, in a way, right? Which at the time when that was happening was around the time of Bring Me's newest material was That's the Spirit, which was their record that sounds very similar to Erase Me. So clearly, you know, some notes were being taken. Yeah. And they went to this producer who, man, name I still cannot remember. It doesn't matter. It's this guy. And he wrote and produced these records. Okay? Interesting. Yeah, it was like Panic at the Disco. It was like one of the older ones. And he's done like pop releases and stuff. He turned into like a almost borderline like top 40 kind of producer. Gotcha. So the sound of that record is very neutered. Yeah. Is a good word for it. Okay. But in hindsight, production-wise, it doesn't sound bad. Like, it sounds normal. I just don't like the style of it,
Sure.
of the production. And then they went a couple years later. They came out with this record called Voyeurist, which I loved. I think a lot of people really liked it. The only complaint that people had about it was the mix. It was self-produced, so it was like, you think when a band goes, we're going to self-produce it, and it's a band that's been a band for fucking 20 years, maybe they've got some ideas going. And their guitarist, Tim, has produced for other bands before, but I didn't love the production on Voyeurist at all. I really thought it was the weak point of that record, even though there's some really strong songs on it. That was what was holding it back a bit.
Right.
But today, I listened to the new record, and I'm like, man, I really just don't like the mix on this. I got done listening to it, and I was looking on my computer, and I just had the Voyeurist is like right next to it in my media player.
Yeah.
So I just double-clicked it on like one of my favorite songs from a record. I haven't listened to it in a long time. And immediately I was like,
this is what Underoath should sound like.
This sounds way better.
Yeah.
And that's a mix that I don't like.
Yeah.
Now imagine if I go listen to one of the albums I do like, because here's the thing. All I'm begging, and look, I'm going to look directly into the camera, Underoath, if you're watching. And guess what? I'm going to make this a short, okay? And I'm going to tag you.
That's a non-zero chance.
There is the whole long form video on YouTube. You're probably never going to see this shit for sure. But this short, there's a chance. All right, there's a chance that one of you fuckers is going to click the Underoath hashtag. I don't care. I don't want them to know I'm mad. I'm literally one of your biggest fans. You can do better than this shit. Really though, lock yourselves in a fucking room with Matt Goldman and let him do your records again. Yeah. I don't care what you write. I don't care if you write a fucking samba album. Okay? I really don't. Just let Matt Goldman produce it instead of doing it yourself. It cannot be that more expensive for you. It cannot. The cut that you are getting to record this album, the budget you're getting, you cannot be saving by putting in your own pockets instead of letting someone else do it. Yeah. You are such a big band. Yeah. Actually, maybe, you know what? Maybe cut this. Actually, I don't want them to see this because maybe they're running a racket. Maybe that's what they're doing. I'm losing it, dude. I'm losing it.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough, though. I mean, I don't really listen to Underoath. It's going to be a running thing, by the way, for this whole review.
It is.
I don't really listen to these guys. But I do know the stuff that you like. Yeah. And you've played the stuff that you like for me.
And you're like, oh, yeah.
It don't sound like this.
Yeah, it don't.
It don't sound like this at all.
I guess we should probably talk a little bit about the actual songs on this record, though.
Well, yeah. So I had a list, and the list started off strong and got fewer and fewer words until...
So you got like track 9? And
track 7 it just said skip. The track 8 said... probably like dog shit, and then track 9 just had like an ellipses.
So I think, funnily enough, if I'm looking at this correctly, I think track 8, the track right after Teeth, is the track called Shame. I believe.
That's right. That's the new metal one that I liked.
That's the one I liked a lot.
Yeah,
I think
that's the new metal-y one.
So you may not remember, but is it the one where the hook when it starts, it's like.
I'm not sure because I tuned out all the choruses after the first one. So
that one, I think, is Shame. Really funny because that part that I just tried to like hum sounds exactly like a 1975 song, and I'm like, there's a non-zero chance that was the purpose of that. You can't get that past me, okay? Yeah. I might be the one man on the planet that knows two things: Underoath and the 1975. All right.
Yeah. Your fucking God-given fucking abilities.
Oh, dude, I heard it and I was like, it's so close. Yeah. It's so fucking close.
Jeez.
But that being said, I did like that song. That was my favorite song of the record for sure.
It's probably up there for me too. Like the riffage, like I said, it's like a good. I say new metal in a good way.
It's got a new metal-y kind of thing going on.
Something about it just kind of rubbed me the right way when the previous 7 and the last 4 did.
Well, here's the thing about a lot of these songs on this record for me, and I think honestly, based off of what you kind of told me, what you said in this video, and what you said off camera, maybe for you too, is that. Almost outside of like Teeth maybe, or maybe some of the other songs, almost every song on this record has something kind of cool going for it. And then it's just like they immediately follow it up with something that just doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I think on my notes on the third song. The first song was like too loud, it's obnoxious. Second song, I said something. But the third song, my big takeaway was, why isn't this just a heavy band?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it would be more palatable if it was a full heavy song and then like a teeth. You do one full song in one thing, or
Yeah.
mostly, but like, yeah, the heavy verse followed by the most inane chorus, and some of the lyrics. I'm not a lyric guy. Some of the lyrics
some
I
stuck
was
out.
like,
Well, that's another thing which I pointed out in our Spirit Box review was that, you know, they used to write really good lyrics, and now it's like,
"Woe is me," type like, and just
there's
like
a devil
edgy.
on my shoulder.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
yeah, it's
Come
rough.
on.
Like to have like 45 seconds of like decent riffage, bad chorus, another 45 seconds of something good, a weird verse, or I'm sorry, like a weird bridge, and then a okay breakdown.
Like, I want them to do interesting stuff. Like, I want them to not just do like paint by numbers metalcore for sure. I don't want just verse, chorus, breakdown, chorus in the song. But it's just like some of the stuff that they're choosing is just like not working really well for me.
Yeah. Also, do me a favor, future you.
Sure.
Do the song names.
Yeah.
The worst song names I might have ever seen.
They're pretty cliche.
Yeah, they're just one word. Like most of it.
Most of them,
it's just like, it's just a noun, like a proper noun type shit.
You know what? I'd be fine with that if they stuck to the theme the whole record.
Yeah.
If there wasn't like 3 songs where they just was like, maybe not.
Yeah. Also, I know we introduced, I meant to say something earlier. What's the name of this record again?
The Place After
This one. Not doing it for me.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as well as I thought it would do.
No, like even like You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. That's a fucking mouthful in just a sentence.
But I like those kind of titles.
Right.
So like this one on paper would be like something that I normally would like the title of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
It's not like the first time a band has like tried a name like this.
Yeah.
And I think there probably been better examples of, you know, like, you know, I would say, I don't want to keep bringing up the few bands in the genre I know, but like Death is a little more. Sure. It's like that sort of idea of like after death, it's just kind of like whatever, you know.
Well, you know, that's the thing with Underoath is like historically, you know, used to be a Christian band.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really know. And then all of a sudden when they came back from hiatus, they were like, nope, we're not doing that Jesus shit no more. We are firmly not that anymore. And then they titled their album this. And it's supposed to be evocative of you thinking like, there's an interview with Spencer that I read earlier today where he says, like, you know, early in our career, if we would have named an album like this, you would have thought for sure we were talking about heaven or hell or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not really what this is supposed to be.
Right.
It just means like, I think he says something about like the title and the kind of the message and the lyrics is about like going through something and then just like, when you're finally out of it, you can look back at it instead of trying to like write something. They talked about the writing process, and he talked about like his like mental state when he helped write that when he was writing this record. Him and Aaron, and he was like, "This is the first record I think we've ever done where we didn't feel like we were at each other's throats and like gonna break the band up again." And it's crazy to like go through hard shit and then get through it and then look back at it. So it's like the place after that or something.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah,
that's fair enough.
It's cool, but it just doesn't really come across because the lyrics are not great.
Right. Exactly. And just there's one song that I do want to give a shout out to. Maybe the worst groove out of any song. It's in the first 3 or 4 or 5 songs. It's like a weird like triplet like.
Is it Survivor's Guilt?
It might be.
Is it? Does the chorus hit a 4 on the floor?
I think
out of nowhere where it's like where it's like ding 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 ding.
I think so. It could be that one.
And then all of a sudden,
there's a bunch of triplets going on,
and then the chorus is like, click, din 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 din. Yeah, I think it's Survivor's Guilt. Yeah. That song is fucking weird.
Yeah, there's just like. That song specifically is like emblematic of a lot of the issues where it is very jarring. There's a lot of jarring stuff going on, like the title of the record and like the thought put into that versus.
Here's the thing. That song specifically, that was the second single, by the way.
Oh Jesus!
They released all of the like the weirdest, worst songs first.
All right. I mean, it was obviously a choice.
Yeah.
Probably not a great one.
I will say this. I didn't like Teeth when it dropped. I kind of liked Survivor's Guilt because it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know if I think this is good,
Yeah.
but I like it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. I think the problem for me is that there's nothing else. I think it is a weird outlying song, and I don't necessarily know if I think it's good, but at least it was something that only felt like they were doing.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the record is kind of drears into the paint by numbers, except for the weird production.
Right. I don't think the songs could have worked any better with a different production. Like songwriting wise, I don't think there's like craziness going on that you're just not hearing.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But it definitely would have helped.
It would have helped. It would have made it more palatable.
I think that's really like the takeaway for me is like.
Well, so let's go to a song that you kind of liked,
Mm-hmm.
which is the opening song.
You're right. Yes.
Right. Generation No Surrender, which I hate the title. God, I hate the title.
Yeah, that might like I actually cringed because I didn't know what it was until I clicked on it, and then I looked.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, the riffage on it is the most old school sounding Underoath that they've sounded in years. Like it's got Tim doing these like weird dissonant things that like sounds very like he would have done on Define the Great Line or Lost in Silent Separation, like one of those records. And I heard people talk about that before the song was released because they were playing it live before they released it officially. And I was like, I feel like we're just huffing copium here. And then I heard it and I was like, oh no, I hear it. Yeah, okay. But then it's like I say, they do something cool and then they have to follow it up with something jarring. And then they do that hook thing, the call and response, but it's like little kids.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was just like a weird sample or a weird like filter on a sample or something of like a crowd chant thing, but I literally think it's kids like on purpose.
Yeah.
And like it does not sound good.
No.
And when I first saw it and I first saw like video of it, they were doing it live and they were doing the thing where it was like, I get it. It wins people over if you've never been to a show before. When you've been to many shows, you get real tired of this shit.
Yeah.
And it was like hey, we're going to play a new song. And I know you don't know the words, but I'm going to teach you. So I'm going to say this, and then you're going to say this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this.
That's like
I don't love that.
The worst thing that could happen to me at any show.
Yeah.
Especially a metal show.
Yeah. Well, they did that.
Yeah.
For that song.
Sure.
And then you hear them play it, and you go, oh, okay, I guess I get it. Surely, on the real song, they maybe have. It would have been cool if they would have been like
gang vocals
or something. Nope, little kids. Weird choice.
Yeah.
Don't love it.
Right.
Rest of the song, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's the thing. Literally, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, because you were like, oh, we might be washed. We're cooked on this one. I heard the first song. I was like, what's wrong? Because I hadn't heard any of the singles.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. It's not great, but it's like, it's
passable.
It's music, I was like kind of bopping to it a little bit, but it doesn't hold out very long.
No, it doesn't. There's another song later in the record. It's called And There Was Nothing, or And Then There Was Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like the other heavy song. They released that as like a teaser, like with a QR code at their merch tent, where it was like, scan this and hear an unreleased Underoath song. And that's a cool idea to do.
Yeah.
And it was them talking about how like it's like the heaviest Underoath song they've ever written. And then you hear it, and I'm like, it's a heavy song.
Yeah.
There's no like singing on it at all. But it has got to be like one of the most generic heavy songs that they've ever made.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of sums up a lot of stuff. Is there's just a lot of nothing. Going on here.
Yeah, I mean the name of the song. And Then There Was Nothing. Yeah, I know. I hear it.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. What this? I don't know, man. I heard it, and like the only thing that stuck out to me was the fucking like. I'm a big lyric guy, so I hear it before I can read into it, and all I can hear it whenever it's so funny. Whenever there's something bad, I pick it up immediately.
Yeah.
Whenever there's something that makes me go, that's like that doesn't get hidden. It's always sticks out like a sore thumb. So like that's the song where he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm enough," and I'm like.
Yeah. Yeah. That one was okay. Yeah. That one hurt me too. 100%.
Like the rest of the song is like fine or whatever, and then he says that shit. I'm just like, okay. And then he does it again and again and again and again. It's like the main line of the song. And I'm like, okay,
Oh.
all right, dude. All right, cool, man. Thanks. You're like one of my heroes.
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
The Fred Durstification
Yeah.
of
Spencer Chamberlain,
yeah.
brother. Anyway, we don't have to keep talking about this.
It's fine. I know you want to get out of this situation as fast as possible. We can give it a score and talk about a good record.
You go ahead and give it your score. I'm gonna be nice, probably.
Oh, I'm not going to be nice.
Oh, I'm not gonna be nice. You give it a 1?
Yeah.
Uno?
Yeah. Uno. Only because it has like a couple like riffs.
I think there's definitely worse things you could listen to. I think a 1 is.
Okay, I get the mix of 1.
But yeah, the mix.
100%.
The mix is a 0.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it plays through a speaker system.
Sure.
Fair.
Yeah.
It moves my magnets and they
Sound waves are being formed.
they induce vibrations in the
sure.
air. You know what? 2.
Okay.
I think that one record that we listened to on the unreleased.
the Wage War
Yeah,
album.
I think that
That's a 1.
that could be my my
That could be your
1.
1 star.
Yeah.
That's all. That's yeah. I mean, I agree probably.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna give it a 4. I think because like
thought you're gonna be nice.
that was nice. I didn't give it a 1 or a 2.
That's true.
I'd say 4 or 5 maybe.
See, I have no baggage coming into this either. This is just a record. That's what I'm saying. This is just a fucking record.
Yeah. See,
and just musically, it's a dose.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm gonna give it like I'll cut split the difference. I'll give it a 4.5.
there you go. You're gonna regret that. Your future Gabe, go ahead and put your real ranking here. All right, thank you.
No.
But no, so
here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm a lunatic.
Mhm.
I'm a psychopath. I know what I'm gonna do.
What's that?
I'm gonna make myself listen to it more.
That's just crazy talk.
I'm gonna be like, no, I can find the good in this.
Yeah.
I can do this. We can do this.
Yeah, with a fucking scalpel, you can surgically remove the 15 seconds of good music.
I'm going to undergo a process known as severance.
Listen to it again with no.
I'm gonna make I'm gonna let my innie listen to it.
Yeah. Write a score down. Film a review.
Honestly, you know what? That's a more honest answer.
Yeah.
But hey, any Gabe, Underoath's not his favorite band. He doesn't even know what music is.
No.
And I'm just go, here you go, buddy. All right.
Anyway,
But yeah.
But now I got good news, Gabe.
We do have good news.
We do have good news.
We did listen to a good album.
We found a way. Speaking of severance and talk about like the time jumps and like the perceived time.
Sure.
We found a way to make an hour and 6 minutes or whatever feel like you could have told me these records had swapped the runtime and I would have believed you.
Yeah.
That fucking Underoath record never ended, and the fucking Deafheaven record.
Yeah. Deafheaven.
What's the name of it?
Lonely People with Power.
Yes. Great name.
Great name.
Great album art too. I like
great lyrics.
Referenced in the music, the album art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is sick.
It's really cool. I very much enjoyed this record.
Yeah. All right. I have a question for you.
Sure.
What's your background with Deafheaven?
Probably similar to most people's background with Deafheaven, which is I had never heard of them until they got glazed off the ends of the earth when Sunbather came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, when year did Sunbather come out? Like
2013, I think.
13?
Yeah, because the 10-year was...
2013 was around the time that I was starting to get more into stuff like shoegaze. And I was like really broadening my... that was like probably 2011 to like 2014 was like a very formative time of me just like trying out a bunch of music and seeing what stuck. And that's when I realized I like a lot of shoegaze related stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing about Deafheaven and hearing like, hey, there's this band and they're doing this thing and they're doing this. It's like shoegaze, but also black metal. And I was like, well, I don't like black metal.
Sure.
I don't like
like most people in 2013.
I was like, I don't really like black metal. I don't like all black metal sounds like shit, like on purpose. I don't really like the vocal stylings. Like, I like screaming music and I like abrasive stuff, but like the specific style of vocals that black metal does, never been my big thing.
Right.
And then, it just wasn't for me. I like the blast beats and the tremolo guitars, but
So black metal wasn't for you, or
Black metal.
Sunbather? Okay.
but then I listened to Sunbather,
Right.
and I was like, I don't think I love this like everyone else does,
Mm-hmm.
but this is really cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool to hear black metal essentially be pretty.
Yeah.
And I did like at first, like I remember my first listen, I was like, yeah, okay, wow, this is interesting, but I don't know if I'm gonna listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it again,
Mm-hmm.
and then I listened to it again, and I listened to it again until I was like, oh, this is incredible. It's an
Yeah.
incredible record. It's like a modern classic as
Mhm.
far as aggressive music goes.
For sure. And definitely, I don't know if I'd say copied by many.
Many, no, I would say it.
Okay.
They literally. So here's the thing. There's gonna
I
be
found the knockoffs of this before I found the original. That's all I was gonna say about that. So
like
continue.
who? Like
I think there's a band called Panopticon.
sure.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, there's a band called Pan.
And they're like, it's like folk black metal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like that pretty black metal, like the
Mhm.
crazy blast, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
But-
like that's the thing is a lot of people who are into black metal.
Mhm.
I know there's a guy that I know, really a big black metal guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I've kind of just like read some of his tweets, read some of his posts about like him talking about stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of gathered that like there's a whole. I don't want to piss off the black metal community, okay?
Yeah. And not those motherfuckers.
There's a lot of stuff that Deafheaven was doing on that record that there are probably people who did it before they did. There's a lot of like the whole post black gaze is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Technically existed before Deafheaven, but just never to that level. They were like the breakthrough moment.
Right. And definitely
And
probably
they definitely popularized it for a lot of people.
probably didn't really exist that much in America, I wouldn't think.
No, definitely not in America.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Right. So I think that's probably, if you're giving credit, that's definitely,
Yeah, I think they were the first big like American version of this.
yeah. So I've got the opposite. I found Sunbather
Sure.
like 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. I think I watched a video essay about it, and I was like, that sounds interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just found it. Like I
Yeah.
said, I think I was listening to. I found Panopticon, the record with like the dandelions and stuff on the front or whatever it is. I found that and I was like, this is pretty neat, but it didn't have any staying power. And then I guess I was like looking up some stuff, and everybody, I bring up Reddit every fucking video. I guess I'm a Redditor, guys. Sorry, but you go through the metal stuff and you see, try Sunbather. It's like, okay, so I did, and it's very, very, very good. I definitely listened to it a few times, and like, I'm basically like we were talking about the Law Dispute girlies. I'm
Yeah.
the Dreamhouse girly.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen to the record, but if
no.
I don't have the time, I'll
No,
just put on Dreamhouse.
Yeah, no, most of the time I'm listening to Dreamhouse or maybe like the Pecan Tree.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like I say I'm like a very basic level, like not that I don't like black metal, I do like most extreme forms of that stuff, but like in general listening,
Yeah.
Dreamhouse is like the farthest I'll go if I'm just like taking a shower.
Yeah.
Put on Dreamhouse.
It's
Vibe.
it's good. I liked it more for the shoegaze than the black metal, but at the same time it was like, oh yeah, what if we just took all the cool stuff about shoegaze and we just threw fucking blast beats on it?
Right.
And I'm like, oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like the actual production of it, like black metal is not great, but unlike black metal, it's listenable.
Exactly.
Like that's the issue with black metal, is that it is very purposefully bad
Yeah, it is.
or abrasive. Let's call it.
Yeah, well, it's on purpose. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like. I think that's why there's a lot of black metal purists that don't like Deafheaven.
Yeah.
Which is fair. But at the same time, I don't think that they claim to be that kind of that band.
Right. And I did hint something earlier when we were sitting down to eat. That's what I was going to say for the video.
Mm-hmm.
This is better than Sunbather.
I agree.
Okay.
No,
Good.
I agree.
I didn't want to. I wanted, if it was going to be a shock, I wanted it to be a shock on camera.
I think that there are songs on. I think that there are songs on Sunbather that like Dreamhouse. I think is
The ending
probably-
of Dreamhouse is one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah. I think that there's
I want to
stuff
dream, like dream,
Yeah,
dying's
yeah.
like dreaming. I want to dream, like
is
whatever.
blissful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that like there's stuff that they've done that is. I think there's songs that they've done in the past that are better than this record, but I think as an overall package, I will go back to this more than I'll go back to any other record.
Yeah, I went back and listened to, I guess, the record before this one, just a random record this morning.
Oh, Infinite Granite,
Yeah, was that
dude.
it? Is that the one that the first song is just like super slow and just not heavy at all?
That's the whole record.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, I was like skipping through a little bit. And I was like,
So
and
that's what.
and then I clicked on a single from this record, and it started off that way.
Yeah,
It was
Heathen.
Roxanne or Heathen.
Heathen.
Okay, is even a song called Roxanne? My fucking fever dream.
There's a song
It's
called.
got some girl's name, right?
There is a song with a girl's name later in the record. I just
Right.
don't remember what it's
Okay.
called.
So yeah, so I clicked
Winona, I think.
Winona. There it is, big brown beaver. But but yeah, so I listened to. Actually, I took a shower to Dreamhouse this week without knowing we were doing this, and then listened to that record. Slow. Started this one. I was like a little worried, but then when I sat down and listened to the whole project, like you said, this might be the most cohesive black metal like
Adjacent thing.
yeah, adjacent. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Like ever. Like there's a couple little spots I can nitpick production wise, but you couldn't pick two different levels of production. Like this sounds incredible.
Yeah.
It's live drums.
Yeah.
It's loud guitars. Like the one issue I have, and I bet you it's sounds like that because it was recorded that way, is sometimes the vocal reverb over some of the quieter parts doesn't fit right. But it wouldn't surprise me if that motherfucker's singing through a pedal board and he's like, I'm not turning this shit off, you know?
Yeah.
So there's like a couple things where it's like it doesn't mesh together. It's not a perfectly cohesive mix, but like for the better. It sounds like 4 dudes or whatever, 4 or 5 dudes in a room.
Yeah.
Like just playing fucking insane music.
Well, that's the thing is like I listened to Underoath and then I listened to Deafheaven.
Yeah, same.
And when I went to listen to the Deafheaven record after listening to Underoath and even listening to like the Silent Planet Invent Animate thing, I listened to all that before I listened to Deafheaven, and I got to Deafheaven and was like, oh, that's what real instruments sound like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm not normally that guy. Normally that's you.
Right.
But yeah, even I was sitting there and I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get it now. Like, okay, this sound like it sounds the production's crisp.
Yeah.
Immaculate.
So it's not like an ad or anything, but I have like some nice Shure like over ears. And like I said, I got home. You had about an hour to get up here. I fucking put those over ears on, cranked all the way up, and just started cleaning inside and out of the house, just doing chores till Gabe got here. And like I've never experienced an hour of chores go by faster. You know what I mean? Like I said, like it's the reverse of the Underoath record, like for me. So I really can't. The only issue with that is I don't have any notes. The only notes I have are the interlude tracks, which are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know who the features are.
I don't know who the last one is for they're called incidental. So incidental 1, incidental 2, incidental 3. I don't know who incidental 3 is. I can look it up real quick. I know incidental 2, which is the best one. Is a band. It's credited to one person, the vocalist. It sounds to me like maybe the whole band had a part of it. There's a band called Boy Harsher. They're from like Savannah or something. It's like a noise.
It's kind of funny because I was gonna say they sound like another Georgia band, a couple parts. It might be either that one that I was thinking about or the third one. They sound there's a little "Oh Brother" going on.
Okay.
It might just be in one of their songs though. There's a couple sections that definitely have like some "Oh Brother" spaced out vibes. So that's interesting. These guys are from Seattle, right?
Deafheaven?
Like, yeah, they're from like the West Coast or something.
Believe so. I think they're from like California.
They just sound like it rains a lot where they're from. That's why they're so sad.
It sounds like they.
Their music sounds like it rains a lot.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay, maybe not. They're just living the dream then. But yeah, so I'm don't know if you're still looking up the feature.
I was trying to look up the feature.
The ending of the third incidental is like her arm on the window and the way that she called me baby, the way that she calls me baby, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally, I don't know if we saw the album cover up, but here you go, Future Gabe. It's literally
I'll put it up.
describing the scene, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, it's describing the scene on the album cover, which to me, when I heard that, I was like, this is fucking perfect.
It's really cool. Oh, it's Interpol. It's Paul Banks from Interpol.
He's just doing like
just
spoken
talking.
word.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay, that's really
sick.
cool. I did not know that.
Okay.
Yeah, Boy Harsher is on the second one.
Okay.
It's the girl singing on that one.
Yeah.
I did not realize that was Paul Banks. That's really cool. It's fucking awesome. This record is really good.
Yeah, like I said, like 12 songs, same length as the Underoath record, obviously about on average 7 to 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minute tracks or something.
I'll tell you what I was not expecting.
What's that?
First song. Well, no, the first song is like the intro thing, but the first real song is called Doberman. Was not expecting to essentially have a breakdown. It stops and does like the thrash, like the.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was literally sitting there doing that. Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit! What the fuck?" All right.
Yeah, I had my right hand was going when I heard that. It was sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of an older song of theirs, and probably one of my like single, maybe my single favorite song that they've ever done. Is a song from their album after Sunbather, New Bermuda. The song is called "Brought to the Water." Where they do shit like that a lot. Okay. And I was like,
yeah.
I thought we were getting another Brought to the Water moment. And I was like, hey, let's go. Because that shit's sick.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I liked New Bermuda a lot. That's what I was going to say, is getting to their other records. Like, I'm not even going to pretend like I have listened to anything before Sunbather, because that was not their first record. They had stuff before that. But since then, Sunbather, New Bermuda, I enjoyed a lot. I know it's hard to follow up a record that gets as much critical acclaim as Sunbather.
Yeah.
So like to me New Bermuda was even more like raw and less pretty. And it was like they did that to me. I think they did that on purpose. Yeah. I think that they were like, let's try not to do the same thing twice.
Yeah.
And then the record after that, Ordinary Corrupt Human Love. I maybe listened to it one time.
Yeah.
When it came out.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it. Won't even pretend like I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just like wasn't in the mood for it when it came out, but I distinctly don't remember anything about it, and I also don't feel like a lot of people remember a lot about it. I don't think it's a very highly acclaimed record of theirs.
Sure.
And I think it kind of got lost in the mud a little bit because of the next record they did, which was the record right before this one, was Infinite Granite. And Infinite Granite, huge style departure.
Yeah.
It's like a post-punk album. Like, he barely screams on it at all. He sings on that record.
Yeah.
It's all just like singing, like pretty almost like dream pop elements to it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. And until this record, I think it might have been my favorite overall Deafheaven album, which I would never say that out loud because Deafheaven fans would put my head on a stick.
Right.
Because they'd be like, well, if that's your favorite Deafheaven album, then you don't fucking like Deafheaven. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right, man. I'll give you that. Yeah. But I really, really liked it a lot.
That's fair. Like, I turned it on, and I was like, surely I'm missing something. This will destroy you ass.
Yeah, it's very post rock.
Yeah. It's like I was like, this sounds like the start of like I don't not to say I listen to a lot of This Will Destroy You, but the S/T record.
Yeah.
Like, sounds like that. I was like, okay, where's the
No, it really does. It is like a post-rock album with vocals.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big post-rock guy. I love This Will Destroy You. I love bands like that.
Yeah.
You know, Explosions in the Sky, fucking shit like that. Like, I love post-rock. Right. So I really, really like the Infinite Granite.
And that's what I was worried. I was like, oh no, they did the style shift on me. And you've conned me into reviewing a Deafheaven record that what I expected.
It's funny because I'm like the reverse of that. I was listening to it and I was texting a friend and I was like, hey, this Deafheaven album is pretty good so far. It's really cool to hear them doing this again. I was like, I will say, I wish that they would have found a middle ground and like just had some singing on here.
Yeah.
And it was right before Heathen played where he does sing at the beginning of it. And I was like, oh, Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I wanted them to meet a little bit more in the middle. There's a song, I think it's right before Heathen. It was literally when I was texting, I was like, this is really good. It was. The song right before Heathen is called The Garden Route. And like instrumentally gorgeous and kind of sounds post-rocky. Like it sounds more post-rocky than like black metal-y.
Yeah.
It still got him doing the black metal vocals on it. But like instrumentally it sounds more post-rocky. And I was like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. I just wish he would sing just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that might be my favorite song. I think it's The Garden Route.
Like I said, I'll have to go back through and listen to this again, probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just the experience of it, like I'm not saying I would never have listened to this, but like this wasn't even on my radar. So for it to come out and like I kind of expected that Deafheaven blew up and pretty much fell off. It's kind of like because the only Deafheaven you ever hear recommended is Sunbather.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe just because it's like an intro to that style of music or whatever, but you never see somebody say, "Oh, check out their third album."
Yeah,
it's third album, you know, from Sunbather. But
well, it is.
So for it to
is.
be like this, like it is that post rocky. It still has the blast beats. It has the crazy vocals. Even like under the quieter parts, like I said, you can hear like the weird trails from the reverb in the room almost. Like it's just a wild.
I think
ride
that's
of a record.
I think that's the thing about them is like there's other bands in the vein of like heavy music or really just any music really where like any band that puts out a record that's like considered like a classic or like seminal, it's hard to hear any other recommendation for it. Like to me, the thing that I think of, especially with the ballpark of heavy music, when you hear people talk about Sunbather, it's like the same people that tell you if you ever like, hey, where should I start with Converge? Every single fucking person on the planet is gonna be like Jane Doe. Yeah. Jane Doe. Listen to Jane Doe. It's the greatest record ever made. Jane Doe. Jane Doe. Right. Sunbather is like a Jane Doe album. Okay. And like to the point that like they are known specifically for those, and they are also known, like those records are singularly known outside of their band as being like a watermark of like, there's Twitter discourse of like, has any modern band made something to that caliber? And like there's no real answer, which means the answer is probably no.
Right.
You know?
Like a modern band of the caliber of like Jane Doe or whatever?
Jane Doe. Yeah, like what would be a modern Jane Doe?
How old is that?
Jane Doe?
Yeah.
2000.
Oh. Well, I have my opinions, but
well, what's your opinions?
Well, it's a wrong opinion, but Slice the Cake's Odyssey to the West.
Oh,
I snuck it in there, boys. You thought I could sneak it in.
Every video, he's gonna find a way to sneak in Slice the Cake.
Slice the Cake's Odyssey to the West. Hey, if you're into that, tell me.
You know what would be cool? To me. You know what would be cool?
What's that?
If their band name wasn't Slice the Cake.
The only good thing that's come out of that is that they have like a B-side record called Other Slices.
I mean, that's kind of cool. That's cool.
And the front of the picture is a cake with a really fucked up slice taken out of it.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only thing. All right, but that's enough for Slice the Cake. But to me, like that got me in. Well, I still don't listen to Tech Death, but
it's
like
crazy that you're not.
It's like a Tech Death.
I mean, it's crazy to me that I'm like, what would be your Jane Doe? What's your masterpiece album? I was expecting you to be like Language.
Well, everybody knows Language though. Like Language is the greatest album ever written.
But that's what I'm saying. That would be a Jane Doe.
Right, to me. Because that's like their only record too, basically. It's their second record.
Well, that doesn't count because Converge has like 6 billion records.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. But yeah, I mean, let's be real. A lot of speed washes. No, I'm
no, like Wildlife would be like Wildlife
yeah.
is their Sunbather,
Sure.
their Jane Doe. That's the album that everyone recommends.
Right.
You know, going back to bands you don't like, go back to Underoath. You ask any Underoath fan, like, hey, what should I listen to? They're only chasing safely.
Oh, I was gonna say Define the Great Line.
Oh, it's Define the Great Line. Define the Great Line is the correct answer.
Yeah.
But some people will tell you chasing safety. But it's one of the two.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if you've got, if you're taking a walk to the bathroom, you can finish it. It's like 20 minutes long.
Hey, in, out, we're done.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel that it definitely is like a legacy that like no matter, like, I think this record, it probably won't be, but like to me, like I could easily be like, if you've never listened to Sunbather, just listen to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a more mature version of like what everything good about that record.
I think it's a more fleshed out a more like more spectrum of emotion. I think Sunbather fits a very specific mood and a very specific lane. Like I love Sunbather, but that being said, every song on Sunbather is basically the same thing.
Well, so it's black metal, ambient, black metal, ambient, black metal, right?
Yeah.
Like it's it's a
Yeah.
but like this record, the songs are shorter.
Mm-hmm.
They're not 12, 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
They also run the same emotional sort of ebb and flows of some of the longer songs, but you also get these long ambient sections without needing, like, not saying it's a downside, but as soon as once you listen to Sunbather once, it's heavy, ambient, heavy, ambient, heavy, ambient,
Sure.
whatever. So it's like, this is more interspersed.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, movement in the record to me, like in the songs, not just in between the songs.
Sure.
The songs themselves are very dynamic, and like I said, like I would definitely say, if I ever see somebody say, "Oh, just listen to Sunbather," it's like, no, just listen to the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's more digestible, sounds better, still has the edge.
I definitely think that this album is the most accessible you could get of this style without caving in.
Right. The least accessible is his vocals.
Sure.
But they're so buried in the mix. Mm-hmm. If you don't like them, you can just forget they're there.
Yeah, it turns into white noise.
Yeah.
It's just listen to the music.
Exactly. So like, and to me, that's the strength of black metal and that type of, like, I love buried vocals.
But there's an effect to be said about that, which is kind of the whole point of it, of being buried in the mix and being like basically a sound in the soundscape with the instrument to convey the feeling. The coolest thing is like George Clark, his vocals are so distinct, so distinctly him, and then he sounds, people is like he's like an indecipherable kind of guy, and I'm like, until you read the lyrics,
right?
And then you read them, and you can if you read the lyrics, one, they're very good. Two, you read the lyrics while you're listening, you can discern every fucking syllable that comes out of his mouth. It's actually absurdly easy to understand what he's saying. Yeah,
but like you said, like once you read the lyrics to, I want a dream, is it blissful, like, dying's a dream, like the whole end of Dreamhouse, you'll never unhear it. Mm-hmm. You hear it every time. Read the lyrics once and you can piece it all together. It all comes back to you. Like, so I can't wait to like find the lyrics. I didn't even see.
That's on Genius.
It's not on Spotify, but
no, they'll be on Spotify once it gets uploaded. Right. I'm sure.
So I definitely want to like follow through the record and just like sit in my room.
It's good,
man.
Fucking
headphones on, following the lyrics on the new record. So
give it a score.
Well, so here's the thing.
Sure.
I gassed it the fuck up.
Yeah.
Can I be like Fantano? Like, it's a good, like, I don't want to just be like, it's a 6 or a 7, because it's better than that. Mm-hmm. But also, because there's records that I would call an 8 that I would listen to again before that. You know what I mean?
But call it a 7.
A 7.5 / very strong 7. It's like
strong 7.
Yeah, I don't want to be. A very strong 7. Legally distinct, very strong 7.
Sure. I was gonna give it like a 8. Yeah. Like a soft 8. Right. So strong 7, soft 8.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like I will gas it up. I think it's phenomenal in their discography. But like I said, there are records that I would call an 8. That if it was between the two.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, but in the right mood.
I think what it boils down to, for me at least, is like, I'm like, yeah, this is like a 8. Like, it's an absurdly good album. That being said, it's not the kind of thing I just like listen to on a daily basis. Right. I'm not just gonna put this on. Exactly. I probably will put this specifically on more often than not, and I'll probably come back to this later in the year and be like, actually, this is better. Yeah. But that's why I would give it like an 8. On the scale of like what it is, or the ballpark of like the sonic influences that it holds, it's probably closer to fucking 10 for what it is.
Right. Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing. So like, if I want to say like objectively, like if I have like a rubric of like record versus record, but yeah, for what it is, yeah, definitely like 8, 9, like it knocks it out of the park for what it is.
Yeah.
But like I said, like, language is like a 9.
Yeah.
9 or 10, like stuff like that. It's hard for me to say this is as good as one of my favorite records.
Exactly.
Same. But for what it is, like, really, fuck what I have to say. Listen to it.
Yeah, listen to it.
Yeah, that's my
set aside an hour of your day.
Yeah. just know when you hit that last song, it's like literally you're at the 1 hour mark. Like
Yeah.
you've listened to an hour, and it will feel like it just
Mhm.
goes right through it. It's like it's nice. But
Oh, sick.
yeah, we got 3 reviews in one, baby.
3 reviews in one video.
Fuckers didn't see that coming.
It's true. So yeah, if you want to see us do more review-A-PALOOZAs,
Yeah.
we'll try to catch some release dates with multiple things on it and
Yeah.
knock them out at one time.
Yeah. Thank God we have at least a couple more years till another Underoath record comes out.
I'm sure I can find something worse this year. It's
Yeah.
gonna be hard though.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
This has been
Like, comment, subscribe,
yeah, do all that.
tell your
Hey,
friends.
come up with a better name than Review-A-PALOOZA.
No, I like review-A-PALOOZA.
Well, I'd like it too, but they got
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Engagement.
Engagement, yeah.
Dislike. Thumbs down. I don't care. I really don't care. At this point, I don't give a fuck. I mean,
Send this directly to the Underoath band members.
please don't. Or do.
Yeah, fuck it.
Depends on what member. If you want to send, ask me first. All right.
All right, fellas. Till next time, and ladies, probably. Till next time. EternalDisco. Forever.
Forever.